SAT Telecommunications Limited would like to inform its valued customers that its offices will be closed from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. tomorrow, Thursday, July 11th, 2013. This is to facilitate the company's staff meeting. We thank our customers for their cooperation and apologize for any inconveniences caused. Welcome to SAT TV's news. I am Shanna Esprit, your presenter. In our top stories, disaster management speaks on awareness during hurricane season. Jamaica urged to plan for external shocks. China Sichuan landslide buries up to 40 people. And in sports, West Indies eliminated from Selcon Mobile Cup Series. Details of this will follow. Welcome back. Manager of Platinum Security, Mr. Kimo Astafan, during an interview with SAT TV's news, confirmed that Platinum Security will be hosting a security exposition from July 16th to July 18th. Platinum Security has been in existence for 15 years, and the exposition is one of the many activities carded for their 15 years of service. This is the first security exposition to be held in Dominica, and is expected to be focused on electronics only. Mr. Astafan strongly believes that informing other businesses of the correct camera installation methods as well as which camera suits one's business is vital for the growth of any company. This is an invitation-only event due to seating capacity.
On the 18th, which is Thursday, next week Thursday the 18th, we are having a open house where anyone off the streets can come in and view the products that we're having. Now, in this expo, you will get a chance to see the products in terms of the electronic part of our business, what we offer. The electronic part is wide, and persons have their concerns about burglaries, protection, staff pilferage, outside pilferage, in terms of monitoring the kids when they're home. In a nutshell, we're saying that the business or homeowner wants more intelligence. And how do we do that? Is by creating products and services that are tailored towards the Dominican market.
The expo will present a variety of active booths, which will feature cameras and other interactive devices.
Not every camera is the same. There are outdoor cameras, there are indoor cameras, there are wide-angle cameras, there are zoom cameras, there are PTZ cameras, there are wide dynamic cameras, there are Pixum cameras, there are a lot of cameras. So when persons go and they buy a package, say from Brandsmart or Home Depot or Sam's Club in the US, what they're getting is a generic camera that may not suit the requirements and may not be tropicalized. When I say tropicalized, we live in the islands. They will get humidity, moisture, they're not IP66 rated, they cannot go outside. So they think that they're getting a good camera, but in truth, what they're buying is just wasting their money.
It will also feature an education discussion by two guests from the United States. They include Rick Gora, manager for Access Communication, a multi-billion company that specializes in IP cameras, as well as a representative from Tyco.
Tyco owns ADT. Tyco owns DSC, and DSC is the brand that we use for alarms, intrusion alarms. And they are sending a representative, and also he'll be giving a basically introduction about Tyco, about the products, etc. We have Lime on board. Lime is a sponsor, First Domestic, and Quadrix. Quadrix Technology is analog, and they do some IP cameras. Also, these are people that we work with every day.
When asked why the public should take keen interest in this first ever expo, this is what Mr. Astafan had to say.
We're encouraging the general public to visit the Security Expo held by Platinum Security and Fortune Hotel on July 18th from 9 to 5 p.m. We've scheduled these hours to suit persons working hours. So come, feel, touch, ask questions. There'll be foreigners on hand, locals on hand to answer any questions. There'll be giveaways, prizes to be won, and you can see how our security packages can suit your various needs.
In more news, a forum on women's entrepreneurship was held on Tuesday, July 9th at the Fortune Hotel. In the Caribbean and around the world, entrepreneurship is hailed as the key to economic development, and for years, women have contributed significantly as entrepreneurs through home-based businesses. Businesses that they co-own with their spouse or thriving businesses they independently own and manage. Sage Business Solutions is a newly formed entrepreneurship development consultancy focused on the advancement of entrepreneurship in Dominica, with particular focus on women and youth entrepreneurs. Sage has recognized the need for women to come together to showcase their business activities, celebrate their entrepreneurial success, as well as discuss the challenges faced in business and how to address these challenges. The Women's Entrepreneurship Forum was hosted in collaboration with the Dominica National Council of Women, Junior Achievement Dominica, and the Dominica State College. It provided an opportunity for networking, mentoring, discussion, inspiration, and learning for female entrepreneurs and young women interested in starting a business. The event included addresses from presentations from the Ministry of Social Services, Community Development and Gender Affairs, Mrs. Gloria Shillingford, Sage Business Solutions, Dominica State College, Dominica National Council of Women, and the Dominica Association of Industry and Commerce. The main feature of the forum was a panel discussion among 8 outstanding female entrepreneurs from a range of sectors in Dominica. They shared their experiences in starting and running a small business, their success and the challenges, as well as managing family life and business. In other news, preliminary reports indicated that there was no significant damage with the passage of Tropical Storm Chantal after the Tropical Storm Watch was discontinued on Tuesday, July 9th. Minister of Public Works, Energy and Ports, Honorable Rayburn Blackmore, says a full assessment is currently being conducted by his ministry to disseminate to the public.
Of course, as you know, the water has been lifted, but that notwithstanding, it still remains very saturated because of the headwinds that we have received. And notwithstanding the fact that in terms of the reports that we have received thus far, because in those circumstances, we just have to be very careful because, we can still experience slides. Well, in terms of the reports that we received, that mainly it had to do with falling trees and electrical poles and follow-ups. And as we speak, we was sliding in the Dubic area, and of course, because of the danger that actually existed yesterday, it was not possible to have cleared the slide yesterday afternoon because you also had the threat coming from the sea, where the as we speak now, it's being cleared, and I wanted to commend the effort of the operator, Mr. Sheen and Alexander, and the persons the tree source because it also brought down a number of trees.
Mr. Blackmore said there were crews out on the morning of Wednesday, July 10th, following the storm, clearing lands and other debris in the road to ensure uninterrupted flow of traffic.
Now, we also had, as we entered this concert area, also a blockage. And yesterday, the ministry was able to respond, and also the help of the residents over there in this concert area. And back with Cochrane, we also had some situations there. My got to focus not two. That's a number of slides, and that was spread by 11:50 yesterday. But you also had the situation whereby a number of foreign polls Dominica. I really want to commend the effort of Dominica staff because a number of communities were without power yesterday because of the high winds. But of course, it's tremendous undertaking, especially the folks, the linesmen. It's a very dangerous undertaking in these circumstances, and I think they have to be commended for their effort. I've been so advised that most of the communities have been restored in terms of having access to the national grid. So for most of the communities have been advised. We'll continue to ensure that we do the necessary investigation to get a more detailed, as I said, report.
He noted although his ministry had been working feverishly to restore affected areas, persons in the communities have to lend their efforts in clearing debris in their areas as well. In other stories, the Office of Disaster Management is urging the public to remain cognizant as the tropical storm season continues. Soon after the tropical storm warning was discontinued for Dominica on Tuesday, July 10th, Acting National Disaster Coordinator Mr. Don Corriette said that there should be no reason for complacency. According to Mr. Corriette, the main focus at present is to continue to improve on the plans and programs in regards to disaster management.
We need not be complacent. We have to now do some retrospection in terms of our plans and our procedures, both at an individual level, a family level, institutional level, and at the national level to find out where our gaps are, where our weaknesses are, where we can improve, because there's much more to come. We're only in July. We go up until September, October, November, so we have a long way to go in the tropical hurricane season.
This is what Mr. Corriette had to say to Dominicans regarding the preparations for impending storms or hurricanes.
Let's put it this way, this was a wet run for us. We now have to sit down and reflect, all of us, not just the ODM, not just the Ministry of National Security, not just the Emergency Response Services, not just the Met Office, but all of us collectively, individually and collectively, need to sit down and critically look at where we are as a people, as institutions, as country, in dealing with such events.
In more stories, Public Relations Officer of Domlec, Mrs. Adina Bellot Valentine, says a lot more work needs to be done to restore service to the affected areas, following the passage of Tropical Storm Chantal, which produced heavy rain that toppled many of Domlec's electricity poles. Mrs. Valentine noted although restorative work began on Tuesday, July 9th, the water did not hold up as expected, and the technicians had to be recalled in fear of their safety.
We still have a few big areas, which are still out, and we're looking at Layo Pack, Layo Valley, and Geneva to Philly City. We have some areas too in the Kenford Industrial site that are still out. We were trying to get them on last night, but we are having some issues with transformers in that area. So some areas of the Kenford Industrial site are still out. There may be little pockets in terms of some of the big areas that we have restored between last evening that are probably still out. And we would like to encourage those customers who probably where the village or the community has been re-energized and do not have power still to call us on 811 to report so we can address that as soon as possible.
Mrs. Valentine said they are aware that a number of electricity poles fell during the passage of the storm, especially in the southern part of the country. However, their crews are working on these areas until all service is restored.
There are safety measures that we work within, and of course our staff has to be safe, and of course until the all clear is given from the Minister or the Disaster Preparedness Office, we do not venture out. And so yesterday we started the restoration soon after, we started getting some rain and winds, but it became, it wasn't possible to have the guys outside, so we had to call them back in. And so we suspended the restoration until after the passage of the storm, and we got the all clear, and then the guys were back out.
There are many areas that are impassable by our vehicles, so that is why we must liaise with the Ministry of Public Works before we can venture out to work on restoring service, she explained. In other stories, the police are currently investigating the circumstances surrounding the discovery of a 20-week-old male fetus found in a concrete drain in the Gutter village. Public Relations Officer Inspector John Caban gave details.
I can confirm that the police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the discovery of a fetus in a concrete drain in Gotta Village about 8:30 a.m. on July 9, 2013. The fetus was transported to the Princess Margaret Hospital, where it was examined by a medical practitioner who confirmed that it was male and consistent with a 20 weeks old fetus. The police are soliciting the assistance of the general public in finding the perpetrators.
Anyone with information is asked to call the police hint line at 1-800-4468 or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-8477. In more news, at the opening ceremony of the Dominica's Association of Teachers Summer Workshop, Minister for Education Honorable Peter Seja admonished the teachers present by stating that the survival of Dominica's economy rests solely on them.
The Dominica Association of Teachers, in collaboration with the Ministry of Education and the Canadian Teachers Federation, have organized these workshops for the past 30 years, I've been advised. And I want to recognize the stellar effort that you have made, Madam President, and your executive in ensuring that our teachers receive the kind of information, the kind of knowledge and skills that will ensure that they do a good job in the classrooms. Commendations are in order for you.
Honorable Peter Seja said the workshop goes a long way in preparing our teachers to deliver quality instructions in the classroom and preparing our students to survive in a competitive global environment. The collective and individual efforts of the educators of Dominica have enabled us a ministry to achieve high standards in education, he explained.
Your presence here this morning is symbolic of one fact, that you are prepared to take on your task with a level of seriousness that is demonstrated day to day and of course by your presence here this morning. May I remind you though that we believe that today's teacher, today's classroom requires teachers who possess a high level of knowledge and skills. And of course the reason for this workshop, those who have an imagination, a passion and an energy, as well as a rich repertoire of teaching approaches.
According to Mr. Seja, we live in an age where technology constantly changes. Therefore, today's teachers must make full use of the opportunities available to them. He urged them to maximize on the opportunities of learning as much as possible for further development.
The Ministry of Education and Human Resource Development has committed itself to our teachers' professional development. And as I say that, again, let me commend the DAT for the role that it has been playing, because the DAT does not see itself solely as a bargaining agent for teachers. But even more than that, the DAT recognizes that it is a professional body, and one of its primary objectives is the professional development of every teacher in the Commonwealth of Dominica. And I commend the President and Executive for this for recognizing this fact.
This workshop has been held for over 30 years, and the Dominica Association of Teachers plan to enhance it further. Dominicans are invited to the twin communities of Girardel and Ecclestone to help celebrate their first annual Ecclestone Heritage Festival 2013. This open invitation was from coordinator of the Ecclestone Heritage Festival, Ms. Shirley Alexander, who noted the festival will take place from Saturday, August 3rd to Monday, 5th August 2013. Leading up to the festival are a number of activities planned for the month of July.
It will include exhibitions, sports, vending booths, entertainment, promoting our cultural and traditional art form and lifestyles. As I said, the villagers of Girardel are welcome, and they have started linking with us on that, because we worked together in May on the flower show site in Jordan for the flower show, and now they are coming down, and that will happen every year. They are coming down to help us with the festival. So come next year, both programs are going to be so much bigger.
They hope to host the event annually with proceeds made by the committee going towards community development activities. The first donation will go towards a lunch shelter project at the Girardel Primary School and upgrade of the playing field and pavilion at Gladys Park in Ecclestone. Part of the festival will include an Ecclestone Got Talent show scheduled for Sunday, July 4th at Lily's Disco from 2 p.m. This show will feature Elisha Benoit, Ruth Augustine, Colin Xavier of Fanatic Band, and Excess Groove.
We have a Kybel History and Bush Tea Night with Dr. Lennox Honeychurch sometime. TFAM Heritage Pageant, and as Mr. Lawrence said, we will have the official opening on the 3rd of August of the real festival, and the festival continues on the Sunday. We will have a traditional show and tell kind of activity where you can see how maybe to make a quota or how to make sang coach or anything like that related to our heritage. Of course, we'll have, for those of you who are wondering, we will have lots of flower plants on sale and, whatever you need in the line of flowers, because that too is a big part of our heritage.
In collaboration with the Youth Development Division and the Drug Education Unit, Self and Community Enhancement projects, including a Summer Day Camp project, a Fun Day pageant, traditional Juve Street Jam, landscaping beautification projects, among others, are some of the activities that will take place. The festival will be held in partnership with the Cultural Division as part of the Emancipation Celebration Program. In more news, one of the most anticipated Feast Novena held in the Parish of St. Anne and St. Joachim, will officially launch on Sunday, 14th July. The feast begins on Friday 26th from 9 p.m., followed by a sports festival on Saturday and a parish family mass on Sunday 28th at 9 a.m. at the Massa Catholic Church. Bishop Gabriel Mazer will confer the sacrament of confirmation on 35 young people and adults on Sunday, July 14th. This will mark the official launching of the annual parish feast of St. Anne's Parish.
We have 35 candidates in a nice mix of young people. We have one who is preparing to enter the religious life, and we have a couple who are preparing for marriage as well, who are not yet confirmed. So we have adults and we have youth, young people who will be confirmed, of course, by His Lordship Bishop Gabriel Mazer. This year for our annual novena, we have what I call an American evangelist. He addressed our World Youth Day and was very, very impressive. He's also a convert to Catholicism. And, so we are happy to have him in the person of Dr. Christopher Beavers. We also have our bishop. The theme this year is really looking at a year of faith.
The sports festival, classified as the St. Paul's Kiddies Sports Festival, under the theme Children Helping Children, will commence from 1 p.m. at the Mahu playing field. The Family Parish Mass, celebrated on Sunday 28th, will be highlighted of this year's activities. Parishioners from Campbell, Canefield, Warner, Mahu, and Massac, among others, are expected to participate.
One of the highlights of our activities this year is a St. Paul Kiddies Sports Festival. Why a Kiddies Sports Festival? Over the years, let's say about 10 years among themselves, Mr. Mervyn Thomas and Shane Marshall, sports officers, have been having their academies in the parish. And every Saturday I pass and I see over 50 kids, at that function, at the training. I say, what encouragement do these gentlemen get? In fact, I've invited all the academies all over Dominica to join us on a Saturday, the 27th, at the Mahu playing field, we call it Teaser Park. And, it's an opportunity.
Grandparents' Day will also be observed.
You know, in the past, people would come from all over the island to the parish. They would even travel with their suitcases, you know, and spend time with their relatives and friends. So we are hoping that Sunday will be a day like that, a hospitality day, when we'll bring the people from Campbell, Warner, Kinfield, Mahomasak together to celebrate from 9 a.m. in the morning for a grand celebration. Well, as I say, this year we are having two men, the bishop, and we have Father Clement, who is an Indian.
In more stories, the Sports Division held its 21st Annual School Sports Awards ceremony on Saturday, July 6 at the Public Service Training Center. The theme for this year was Sports Participation Leads to Limitless Prospects. Honorable Justina Charles, Minister of Culture, Youth and Sports, addressed the award recipients and guests and congratulated the students on their achievements and encouraged them to strive for success in all other aspects in their lives.
So students, my advice to you today is to do your utmost in all that you do. Be disciplined, train hard, and respect and listen to your coaches. You will also need to ensure that you do not neglect your studies. A smart and thinking athlete will always be a force to reckon with on the field, on the hard court, or anywhere else.
Mr. Irving Tosh Williams spoke about the physical, psychological, social, moral, and emotional benefits that sports can produce.
Sports provide a unique opportunity for you students to acquire physical, social, and personal benefits that can help you throughout your lives. Sports participation has been associated with a lower dropout rate at high school level that ultimately has profound social and economic consequences for students and their communities.
Primary schools which won championships were Grandford, Wesley, Sineku, St. John's, Willis Strathmore Stevens Primary, Goodwill, and St. Luke's Primary School. The secondary schools which received championship awards included Goodwill Secondary, Portsmouth Secondary, Dominica State College, Northeast Comprehensive, Fairchild Secondary, and St. Mary's Academy. SAT Telecoms congratulates all of the schools who received awards and participated in this year's sports competitions. And in court news, hard work truly pays off. This was manifested in the police investigation where 2 Colombian nationals were robbed on Monday, July 1st. Originally, 5 individuals were arrested and their bail was denied when they faced Magistrate Ozzie Luis on Friday, July 5th. After being charged with the incident, after thorough investigation, 1 other was arrested and charged. 2 more individuals were arrested and charged on Tuesday, 9/11. Previous charges were removed and new charges laid against all 8 individuals implicated in the incident. Issa Allen of River Estate, Canefield, Ron Garth Jolly of Louisville, Fenella Geist, Vanessa Geist, and Kahina Green, in addition to Kester Cyprian, all of Bath Estate, Alexander Joseph of Gutter Village, and Imran Bruni of Pottersville were all charged with robbery and conspiracy to rob Colombians Jesus Parra and Cesar Serna. The 8 were also charged with kidnapping Jesus Parra, who was robbed of $3,000 and a BlackBerry Bold cell phone valued at $400. The 5 men, Issa Aline, Ron Garth Jolly, Alexander Joseph, Imran Bruni, and Kester Cyprian, were also charged with attempted murder of Jesus Parra. Imran Bruni, who was previously charged with accessory after the fact of robbery, who appeared before Magistrate Bernard Paquette on Friday, July 5th, was bailed in the sum of $10,000 despite objections by the prosecution. Only 7 individuals were present at the Roseau Magistrates Court on Tuesday, July 10th, before Magistrate Ozzie Luis, who adjourned the matter until Thursday, July 11th, because of the passage of Tropical Storm Chantal. On that day, the charges will be read to the 8 accused and bail applications will be entertained. Attorney Gina Dyer-Monroe, who represents Kester Cyprian, attempted to secure early bail for her client, stating that Cyprian has been in and out of the Princess Margaret Hospital, suffering from hypertension and chest pain, and is currently on medication. although she stated there should be no objections to bail as her client is only now being brought to the court for this matter. That effort proved futile. This has been the local segment of the news. Coming up next, regional highlights.
Have you ever wanted to order on the internet but don't own a credit card, or you're just fed up of the high prices of items locally? Well, the solution is Kemet's Online Services. Kemet's Online Services order a wide variety of items and get your items in as quick as 5 to 10 days. For placing orders or for more information, call 614-9550. The sky's the limit with Kemet's Online Services.